slam my little gavel. All right, and roll call. We have everyone here with Lisa Porter with an excused absence, correct? Okay, and I'm doing the Pledge of Allegiance, so everyone please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, any public comments?
I have none.
Thank you. On to presentations. Number one here is our report from our ACT liaison. Just whenever you're ready.
Hello, my name is Angel Miranda, and it is a pleasure to be here representing Lake Forest Advisory Committee for Teens. I am here to update the Parks and Recreation Commission about what ACT has been working on this past month. We had the opportunity to assist with preparations for Snowfest crafts. We also volunteered for the event and helped with the craft station, the snow hill, the bunny hill, the snow play area, games, line control, and cleanup. We have started to work on crafts for the upcoming Bunny Blast, a Seuss extravaganza event. We look forward to volunteering for the next event and hope to see you all there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That was excellent. Good job. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, it's not always the most fun thing to do, but public speaking is really important. I know it's something that I struggle with all the time. So thank you so much. And so you guys are already working on Bunny Blast. I know. But thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we always love having our updates so we know what's going on. So there you go. So thank you. And you're welcome to stay or leave. Just a little FYI. All right. Receive file. Consent calendar. I presume everyone's had a chance to read the minutes. Are there any changes, additions? If not,
Motion to approve.
thank you.
Second. Ooh.
All right. Now, do I abstain because I wasn't here?
Yes, you do.
All right. Okay, so if we can please vote, that would be very nice. Did it work? Oh, perfect. All right, thank you for that. Okay, on to item 3, selection of chair and vice chair. Oops. So I'd like to open the nominations for chair. Anybody?
I nominate Commissioner Victor Scher.
Okay. All right. Jim, did you have one?
Victor, sure.
Well, I think that's pretty good. Victor, would you like, are you interested in the office? Okay. Well, all right. Thank you. Okay. So, well, I just got to make sure he wants it. You know, do we vote on this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, were there any other people that want to be chair? No, just have to ask. Oh, you want to be chair? Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and vote, please. Thank you. Dun, 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 dun. Uh-oh. No problem. Vote again, please. Now? Congratulations, Victor. All right, now we need a vice chair. I'll be happy to have any nominations. All right.
Second.
Okay. Jim, would you like that position?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. No other nominations? I'll declare nominations closed. How's that? Okay, let's go ahead and vote, please. I hope Carol was ready. Okay, yeah, we're ready. Are we good?
We're good.
All right. Congratulations. Yay. All right.
So is this your last meeting as chair?
Until I get nominated again. Man, look at this. This is perfect. We're already up to our recreation report. Ta-da!
was writing a little bit of notes for future. So for the month of December, the is it January? I thought it was December. Usually I write notes from this, and I didn't write my notes, and now I can tell why I usually write notes. Highlights for the month of January, actually I have December and January, the end of December into January. For the skate park in particular, we had our winter skate camps, and still again so popular. Most popular we've had when we've had the camps during the winter season. We had 45 participants for the 2 camps, and we generated $7,000 in revenue. So still popular, still going, and from what I can tell, we are not slowing down at all for any of our programs at the skate park, and now we're 13 years into existence. So it's great. That's my only highlight for the month of January, end of December, beginning of January. I wanted to see if there's anything else on here. Oh, if you would like to go to the St. Patty's Day luncheon, please make sure you RSVP for that. We do leave spots for you, but we'd like to know if you're going to be coming or not. So if you can RSVP to Carol or through, Carol would be the best. Yeah, okay, great. We can make sure you're on the list.
Can we tell you now? Or
Yes, you sure can.
for 2?
For 2.
Myself.
Okay, you got it. And that's my brief report for the month of January. I will be happy to answer any questions. The Sachs Award, Judge?
Sachs Award,
Yeah.
I believe I responded that I would. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yes,
What's the date
I
on
think I
that?
responded also.
April
28th, I think.
April 28th.
I don't know offhand. I don't have it on my schedule. So
April,
April 26th.
we'll send out an. How about if we send out an email
it's
with the date?
April 26th is what I got. Yeah,
Is it a Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah, we'll send out. Yeah.
you can put us down for 2.
Okay.
Yourself and Karen.
26th is a Thursday. That's typically when they're at.
Yeah.
Good evening. I'll take over for the second half of our recreation report. As some of you were aware, we had our Snow Fest event in January 27th at Pittsford Park. We had another great turnout, amazing weather. We had over about 3,000 people in attendance for all the sessions. We had 1,400 sledding wristbands that were purchased, along with 500 additional wristbands for the rides and things like that. You can see our new Olaf, the slide from yards away. It was like a really predominant guy. Yeah, you definitely knew that something was going on.
You know, like I parked, and all of a sudden I heard kids screaming.
Yeah,
Off. I was like,
yeah.
"Why?" And I walked around the corner, and all of a sudden there
He
you
was
are.
ginormous, I know. So that was a new little fun feature. And then we also changed the layout of the park for that event, which really seemed to work really well with everything kind of facing the audience or the people as they approach the park. So again, great day. All the food vendors seemed to be happy, and all the participants as well. Back, I believe, in the fall, Councilmember Hamilton initiated a discussion for a kindness campaign. So throughout our department, we've taken upon the initiative to work within each of our divisions to do a kindness campaign. And so everybody's kind of done something a little bit different, whether it's at the sports park, the skate park. But I was just going to focus on Kids Factory, because Kids Factory is kind of unique in the way that we interact with kids on a much broader level, on a much higher scale every single day. So we have hundreds of kids, and it's a great way to promote kindness throughout that program, especially for that demographic, because some of those are the most difficult kids in our after-school program. So it's really nice to see. We put it in our report this month that the kindness campaign has started with Kids Factory. Brett Brady's really good about getting the kids involved. I added a couple pictures of them just participating and really sending the message of kindness from their staff to their kids. And he actually highlighted a little girl from Portola Hills Elementary School that really was just reaching out to kids that don't have friends and things like that. And that's what that's really all about. And so it's really nice to see those kids making friends with kids that may not have a friend. So that's what we're trying to do, and we're instilling that within even our programs at the sports park with our camps and teen programs and things like that. And what basically it is, it doesn't cost money. It's really not. It's very minimal cost to us, and it's all about spreading the word of being kind to one another. So just really wanted to highlight that, and then also wanted to call attention to some of the events that are coming up in March, which, like Allie said, right around the corner. But first is the Pet Expo, March 10th. So March 10th, 10 to 2. Adoptable pets, Francisco. So come out there. We're not going to just have dogs and cats. We're going to have the reptiles, but we're also going to have
Maybe a pug.
A little pug is on its way home.
I'll be there on the lookout.
There you go. But we're going to have the birds again, and we're going to have some more reptiles, and also guineas and hamsters and things like that. So we're looking forward to that. We have a couple new vendors and a couple new sponsors coming our way, and we also will have Bruce Cameron again. So it'll be nice to have Bruce Cameron actually at the event rather than hopefully we don't have a rain out date. So it's going to be a little bit different because he'll be doing a presentation from the stage as one of the main presenters or the main guest speakers. So it'll be nice, and rather than just agility or frisbee dogs, we're actually going to do a fly ball demonstration. We'll have agility. We'll have the blessing of the animals, and we'll have Bruce Cameron. So I really want to highlight those things, and yeah, it should be a great turnout. Hopefully we have good weather this time and don't have a rain date. So if you have any questions, I would be available to answer them.
No, I'm just going to make sure I get it on my calendar. Anybody else have any?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Jim's question.
There was an old saying that figures lie and liars figure. Your winter skate camps, the number in the first part shows as 45. I was figuring 45 is 7,000. That's nice. But when you look where you have all the numbers under calendar of events, on that page 5, it shows 92.
So
45 times what?
4 camps?
it's one camp times each of the days that they're there. They're there for 5 days. So we're looking at enrollment versus participation.
Okay.
Enrollment is how many people enrolled. There's 45 people enrolled. And then they were there for 5 days. It's more than 92, though.
Yeah, much more than 92. Yep. 45 times 2 is 90. And I didn't even have a calculator for that one, so.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
There were 4 days,
Right.
right? So then it was 40.
106 would be 180.
We have two amounts.
Okay, no, I understand. And you're counting each individual day as opposed to just
Yes.
the event, each day of attendance.
Right.
Okay, well, then that needs to be, whatever, changed. The other question I had was in relation to Snowfest. One of the things I was going to mention during comments, I just mentioned it now. I think it was a great job with moving some of the things that were moved, moving the line to get up the slope, that it didn't get right in the middle where people are sitting and walking and all of that, which was great. But if I recall correctly, we typically sold out for all 3 sessions for sledding. And I think your count in here was that we sold only 1,400 instead of 1,500. Was that for like the 3rd session or? Okay. And, but then this is the first time I've seen a number attached to the other type of wristband that they could use all the activities. Is that something
Right.
new?
They did it. They started that last year. So Monique started that last year, just so that some of the kids that didn't want to do the sledding,
Yeah.
they could just participate in the other activities. So it may be for the older kids, the younger kids. It's just a combination of another available type of wristband that they can do rather than doing just snow.
And what did those cost?
I think those are $5, but it's unlimited. So it's Olaf, it's all the games, everything. Yeah.
No, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
And it, again, helps revenue recovery.
Right, exactly. Rather than,
Not exorbitant or anything like that.
right, we started that with Bunny Blast with the
Yeah.
with the all-inclusive wristband. So it kind of just carried it over, and that way we don't have to do individual tickets and keep track of it. It's just much easier accounting-wise.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was very good.
Thanks.
So, again, a nice event, and again, overall good attendance, but it wasn't overcrowded, which was nice, too, to do that. Now, let me just see. I'll tell you what's okay. It's okay.
It's okay, thank you. Anyone on the side have any comments or questions?
No comment.
Excellent, then we are, okay, so we are now on to our director's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Congratulations on a fabulous year as the chair. You did an outstanding job, and we've enjoyed
Thank you very much.
having you as a chair. And congratulations to our new chair and our new vice chair. We also look forward to the year to come. Just a couple things from my report. We did conduct 3 meetings for the neighborhood improvement plan for the 10 parks. I don't think there was anything unusual about them. They went very well. The first meeting, we probably had about 30 people.
Right.
The second and third meeting were a little smaller. We had about 15 people for each of those. And the next step is the park designer from RJM Design Group is going to bring conceptual designs to the Parks Commission. And our schedule is to bring those to you next month at the March meeting.
No?
I thought it was March, but March or April. Could be April, yeah.
To be determined.
Yeah, I've been trying to meet with Larry to clear some of that up, but they're going to come to the commission, and then, of course, you make the recommendations before they go to the city council. I would expect there will be a lot of folks in the audience that night because part of our marketing follow-up is that we're going to take the sign-in sheets that we received, email folks just to let them know when the meeting is and kind of what to expect. Veterans Park, just a brief update. It's sort of sat dormant for a while we figured out a change order with the contractor, and things are moving again. And I believe the schedule is to finish the park around the end of summer, if nothing changes. So the Public Works Department is going to bring that change order to the City Council the next meeting on March 6th. We also have, the dog park is closed right now. We're putting in new shade structures there. I believe it's closed until the 22nd. And if everything goes according to schedule, it would open on the 22nd. And then we will be having a brief ribbon cutting ceremony. Very brief. We don't have a date yet because we were just asked to do this yesterday. But we will certainly notify you when we have a date. And
this is a ribbon cutting for the shades?
Yes.
Sounds productive.
We are excited about reopening the facility with the shade structures. It's going to make everyone a little bit more comfortable.
Yes.
The last item I have, I just wanted to advise the commission that the City Council changed the way that they nominate commissioners for the Parks Commission and the Planning Commission. So it used to be that someone would be nominated and then the entire City Council would vote. They've changed it so that each City Council member will now be appointing one person. So there's no more voting. And I believe that this will probably start with the next round, the next time we have a vacancy.
I just want to clarify. So they're going to take turns? Is that the idea?
That's correct.
And they can nominate, well, they're not going to vote, they're going to appoint.
Correct. They're going to appoint. It's an appointment, not a vote.
Is there precedent for this in terms of best practices?
Other cities do this. A lot of other cities
So
do
it's
this.
not...
It's not uncommon.
Not on the ordinary. Okay.
Right.
That's what I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Right.
So then the whole process, do people still apply and fill out the paperwork?
I believe that part of the process won't change. People still apply. They fill out the paperwork.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a situation where you approach you pick a council member and you go to them and you say, you have a meeting, you talk about what's important to you, your experience on the commission, and you let them know they were interested, or if they just want to pick people. I don't really know. But I would assume that you're certainly free to, if it's your turn, you're certainly free to contact a council member, meet with them, and to have that discussion.
How do you know which one to pick?
You
Or do you?
well, it will depend on, since they don't nominate 5 all at once,
Right.
and I forget which of you is up next and when the terms end. But
Jim and I.
so when your
I'm up
term
next.
ends, there will be 2 council
Jim,
members.
the 3 of us are.
Right. So there will be 2, and I don't know how they're going to do this with district voting, but there will be 2 council members who will have the first 2 appointments. That is, I believe, how it's going to work. So you just have this discussion at the last meeting. I haven't seen anything in writing as far as the process or the procedure. If I get something, I'll definitely share it with you.
Scott, when you say there'll be two councilmen getting perspective, there are, and again, the district system may change things. There are 3 of them also up for re-election, I guess is the proper term. So would it be those 3 then, or the successor or the incumbent who made it for those 3 slots be then each appointing 1?
That's a great question. I honestly don't know. So I have to see. They just made this decision in the last meeting. So I wanted to give you a heads up.
Yeah.
If I have something in writing or some kind of procedure, then I'll definitely share that with you. Yeah.
So,
Make sure I understand. So there's not necessarily going to be interviews in the public domain. It's really to the total discretion of the individual council person.
That's correct.
So they could literally pick anybody and not be challenged.
That's correct.
Was that?
That's my understanding. That's how I've seen it implemented in other cities.
But could they also pick an incumbent?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
that's part of
That,
everybody.
that concludes my report.
Well, thank you for that. Very interesting new news.
Oh, excuse me. Let me just jump in on that same topic. Is it also for the planning commission, the same thing?
Yes.
Yes?
And the, okay.
Yeah. No, the senior advisory board is still selected by
By
commission.
us.
So we'll stop interviews, is what we're saying?
Yes. Nothing changes for the senior advisory board. Same process. Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. So I just want to say I love being on the Park Commission. Oh, Parks and Rec. Parks make life better. All right, we are now on to commission comments. Francisco, would you like to go
Sure.
first? Thank you.
I just wanted to reiterate that I thought Snowfest was amazing. I mean, every year that I go, I can't believe that it's thrown by a city. I mean, it just looks like something you would see at the OC Fair, so it's amazing. And the only critique I ever hear from people is that they couldn't go enough times, which is good, because that means there were too many people there for that time, right? I mean, so that's great. And then I wanted to thank you guys for doing the live streaming of the parks meetings. I thought that was great. I think, we could improve the technology that was used to be able to, but it was the first step, so now I'm sure staff is learning how to implement it better for next time. But I definitely saw that the people who were watching it, myself included, really appreciated that they could comment and watch it from home and be able to look at the PowerPoints that were presented. So I know that a lot of people shared it. I know that a lot of people were watching it even after the fact. So I loved it. And then, for the parks meeting. And then the only other question I had was, I know that we were talking about the farmers market in the spring. Is there an update for that? Is that still proceeding?
It's in the Leisure Times. It's in there.
Yes, it's still going.
Okay.
And Nick's basically, it's still going to be what it sounds like it is. It's going to be a few vendors. We're going to start out small. We're not going to do anything crazy or go big with like crazy advertising. We're going to keep it kind of like our small town feel with a couple local vendors, like people that are kind of boutique-y.
Okay.
You know, not so much that it's all like fruits and vegetables. It'll be like crafty type things as well, people that make things homemade. So we'll kind of be all over the gamut and then see what sticks.
Do you know about how many vendors you have so far?
I think he has about 25 right now.
Oh, wow. That's
That's
a big size for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not Pet Expo big. I mean, you know.
We'll get there.
It's a good. No. We're happy with that. That's
Yeah.
good because we kind of want to baby step our way in and see like the turnout because it's during the week and you know to see if we can get like the families that come out in the evenings and get some food and things
Right.
like that.
So is it gonna, since it's smaller, is it gonna be up where in the concrete portion by the center? Or is it still gonna be in the grass area?
No, it's gonna be in the parking lot.
Okay. Cool.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, I will be there. Thank you.
Hello. First thing, as you all know, we put effort into building the annual comments to the City Council scheduled for the 20th of this month. I'd like to personally encourage each of us, if you can, arrange your schedule. I think it's important that we have visibility there as a group. And if at all possible, if you could plan to attend. Francisco, I'm not sure how you're scheduling, but it would be kind of cool if you could make it. Please.
For Loretta.
For her.
And Parks and Rec.
Thank you.
Certainly would appreciate the,
Yeah, we'll be the cheering section on the side there.
should I give you the, like at the Olympics?
All right. Enough said on that. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
We had some very good activities. One in particular I was very excited about was the Heritage Hill Tour senior activity. We had 7. We would have expected more, but a combination of illness and what have you, that happens when you're putting a senior event together. But I believe the feedback was very positive from what I understand on the group. Okay. And I certainly welcome the opportunity of repeating that experience for those who wanted to come, but because I think I understand with some medical appointments and illness, so I would like to see perhaps in the fall or something, or whenever it makes sense, if we could offer another opportunity, and whenever time makes sense, I'll make myself available. The Western theme, you know, I was mentioning to Karen Rice that what makes the events so impressive is the detail that goes into the events, because if I believe I attended, the 3 of us over here, the decorations were just superb. The blinds that you had, it was very, very creative. The photo opportunity, which I had a picture taken, I mean, some of those touches, this really makes it very enjoyable. And the DJ was excellent. I mean, I love that DJ. And then the line dancing, there's some good dancers. In fact, you have a couple on your staff that are just, you know, fantastic. So I certainly am excited about future activities that you'll be doing. I understand that there was some turnover, perhaps, in your group. Is that correct?
We have some staff who have been hired by other cities.
Yes.
So they won't be working as many hours here as they have in the past, but they love it here so much that they are going to at least work some events and some days, to stay some days. We have one staff member who recently moved to Corona, and for her to come back and forth, it's quite a hike. And she did
Understood.
get hired by the city of Corona in their recreation department, so
understood.
it's kind of nice that we're giving them, you know, one of our blessings to go work for them. So, but the staff you just won't see them as much, but they will still stay on our staff
Are
schedule.
we competitive from the wage scale that we're offering compared to other cities as far as retention from that perspective?
We're in the process of doing a class and comp study that will see where we are in comparison to other cities. That's what we do class and comp studies for.
All right.
And some of the staff have been working here for quite some time. So they may be at the end of the pay, our pay scale, but that's why we do class and comp studies, to be able to figure that out.
I understand there has to be slots that you can justify as far as raising the wage levels, as far as open slots from the budgetary. Is that, am I?
You're exactly right. So what happens is that, as an example, someone becomes a recreation leader, maybe after a year or two they move up to become a recreation specialist.
Right.
And they may stay a specialist for a long time. Maybe they like being a specialist, which is fine, but there's no way to give them a raise unless they get another job that has more responsibilities that pays a higher wage. So in a nutshell, the way you said it made sense also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just trying to work through my head here. Is there anything proactively that can be done? And it appears that it's just a matter of no. There's really, your hands are pretty much tied.
They are. We have so many slots for rec leaders, for specialists, and when someone wants to make more money, they basically need to get another job, either in our organization or somewhere else sometimes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No one likes to lose good people.
Yeah.
And I understand that. But on the other hand, I think on the next budget cycle, it sounds like you're going to see what can be done. Is that correct?
So yeah, they do a class and compensation study. What they do is they look at, I don't know the exact number, but maybe it's 10 or 12 other cities that are comparable to Lake Forest, comparable in size and budget. And they basically look at the pay scales for all the positions. And then the city council makes a policy decision about where they think we should be positioned. And I think, are we about in the middle?
It depends on which positions you're looking at.
Okay.
You know, rec leaders, I think that we're a little bit
We're low for
lower.
rec leaders.
Our part-time coordinator positions, that's pretty good. That's
Yeah.
a pretty good number, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And that makes me feel comfortable that it's something that you want to address at the appropriate time, you know. One of the areas that I wanted to be clear on, the community meetings that were conducted, did anyone from staff attend those?
Yeah, I attended all of
The
them.
commission, I unfortunately did not attend. So
Two commissioners.
Two commissioners?
Yeah, Rosenberg and Heron.
And one online.
And one online, that's right.
Can I get a sense of the attitude of the various people? Was it antagonistic? Was it supportive? Was there any controversy? Because what I'm going with that is at the next commission meeting, I'm sure many of those people will be here. And what can I expect, or what can we expect based on the feedback you're getting on those?
In a nutshell, you can expect people to show up and say, we don't want restrooms.
We don't want restrooms.
And the other, and frankly, based on the feedback we got, we're probably going to remove them from the plans in the two parts where we had them. But what we noticed is that there is a real difference in the feedback we got from the online survey or people that sent in emails versus the people that were there to benefit from the discussion. So if you looked online, just the best example is restrooms. When people start talking about that, they don't want a restroom. The number one requested amenity online last year, restrooms, right? So it is interesting. We've never done this much outreach. We've never streamed something live on Facebook before. We've never invited so much, hey, if you can't make the meeting, email us. And I think what we learned is that it's very easy in the anonymity of your home to say, I don't want a dog park near me in my tiny park, but I do want to put one in the park next to Commissioner Rosenberg's home. There's a lot of that, and then people do that online. It's very different when you get people in the room. So there will be people showing up reinforcing the fact that they don't want restrooms and certain things in their parks, and that's what the process is for. We probably will have taken the bathrooms out by the time they get here anyway.
Do you know if there's an age correlation between the people who want the restrooms and the people who don't? Because it seems to me that it seems to be the people with young children who want the restrooms.
Yes.
And those are typically the ones who don't show up to the meetings because they have young children.
That's correct. I think there's also a real lack of understanding about what a restroom, how it changes the character of the park. People stay there later, they stay there longer. There's a potential for criminal activity to take place in the bathroom. We had someone suggest that the way to ensure that the homeless don't get in there is to have build a public restroom and then issue swipe cards to the surrounding community. So we, of course, had to explain that if it's a public park with a public restroom, it has to be open for everyone. We don't do swipe cards. So once you educate people, though, they decided that they generally didn't want parks. And I don't know if the commissioners have additional feedback you'd like to add.
Well, I think one thing that when people come in person, and we saw this both on the original series of workshops and these conducted by RJM, I will say close to a majority of those who showed up are capsulized by don't do anything, just leave it as is, regardless if water pipes are burst and flooding, if the playground equipment is falling down, and
Let it fall down.
let it fall down, and if it injures somebody, you have liability, you can take care of it. And there's no kids living within 10 miles of this park, and
As
so,
children play in front of them.
yeah, all kinds of comments like that. But, at least they came. And I think the outreach was great. I am going to say that, as part of my comments, and say this anyway, I am thrilled that RJM has this part of the puzzle, or this part of the job, because they are creative, they will come up with good stuff, and they are not by any means just going to listen that somebody doesn't want something. But they had a concept of each park having like a theme with illustrations and other things like that. What I think we'll see from them will be a quality product, and I think that's important that we provide that to the residents. And I'm sure we'll have some here and some that will come to the council meeting that will voice opposition to things. But I think our job, and I hope the council the same, would look at it doing what is best for the city of Lake Forest, not just because one or two residents say, I don't want this. And in other projects, because of some very small amount of negative comments, things have died a sad death, like a flagpole in Veterans Park. We can probably go into the Guinness Book of Records by saying we are probably going to be the only veterans memorial, at least in this country, that doesn't fly a flag. So, and things like that. But no, I'm like I said, I'm thrilled with RGM, and I think
Very good. I'm satisfied that we're well positioned to deal with the discussion. Am I assuming also that we will be voting on this at that next meeting, or not?
It's not so much a yes or no vote. I think it's more of feedback on the characteristics of the designs.
More input from...
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Very well. So we're not ready to make a recommendation then to the council?
This is the recommendation. So you're
we
going to
are.
review conceptual plans.
Okay.
And you can ask Larry questions, you can ask staff questions, and based on that...
Aren't you want consensus from the commission in terms of recommendation to the council?
At the end of the meeting, there will probably be a recommendation to move the conceptual designs to the city council.
So it would be a motion.
As amended.
A motion driven. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
A couple other items. I'm getting feedback, being that the three of us usually attend many of the senior events and other activities, but I am getting some feedback that they like to see more of the commission members participate. And they understand that you can't make all the activities, but they like to see each of us have some visibility of picking one or two events a year, or as many as you can, but a minimum of one or two events a year just to show up and show that you have an interest. So I want to pass that on to the commission. Each of us know who you are as far as your activity levels and participation, but I do feel it's important to weigh that, because as an appointee, part of our responsibilities is to allocate time. I mean, not just attending a meeting a month, so that's where I'm coming from. So I like to pass that on to you, for each of you to weigh it. And for example, of the senior activities, I certainly feel it's reasonable to ask at least pick one to attend. I mean, or more, but at least minimum of one. So at least you can meet the seniors and they see us as a group and get to know them, because they're pretty astute. I mean, I got to know most of them since I've attended as many activities as I can, the special event type of things. By the way, there's an Out of Africa event coming up May 18th, which I have been to. It's excellent. Well done. I believe it's the 18th.
Are we talking about the senior dance? Senior dance. Make sure we're on the same
Yeah. Is it a dance, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I have that on my calendar. I think that one has a fee associated with it.
They all do.
They all do. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing
I'm sure
is,
staff will take credit cards.
I usually go online, or Carol can handle the transaction, but I think it's important if there is a fee, it's something we should ante up, to help support the
Or
activity.
mail it to Karen Rice.
Pardon?
I mail it to Karen. Mail her a check.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can either way you want to handle it. Dog park, I'm a little, when is that going to open? I mean, you said that it's it's closed now
Correct.
for renovation or whatever you want to call it.
So we're installing shade structures, something that the city council approved, and it's scheduled to open on the 22nd of February, barring any rain delays or anything unforeseen. And we've been asked to do a ribbon cutting or an opening ceremony.
Oh, really?
We don't know when that's going to be yet. We were just asked yesterday, so we're discussing that. We're going to arrive at a
Is
date.
that going to be an invitation thing, or is that?
We'll definitely let you know when we schedule it. We don't know yet if it's going to be during the week or on a weekend. We're still checking.
Okay.
Usually, we plan these things further in advance. So this was just sort of sprung on us yesterday, so we haven't had a chance really to plan it.
Is this originated through the council, or was it originated elsewhere?
The council.
The council?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Very well. So one last item. This is going to be interesting. I'm leaning on the analyst who recently hired to work to try to get some video coverage of some of the children's activities at Heritage Hill. And they have a video capability, as I understand it, where they can film these activities. The agreement is you can't show the children's faces, but you can show like the docents' faces. That's okay. So I'm trying to work scheduling into an activity. I haven't got any pushback or bureaucratic pushback. It's just a matter of we're talking about some dates, because we usually have 45 or 60 children attending these events. It's been very successful. We have field trips that school buses that organize the children on a once-a-year basis from all the school districts, particularly from Saddleback, some of the Christian schools, and it's proving to be unbelievable, because we will entertain 100 children a week. And it's almost like running your own Parks and Rec program here. And plus the fact we have other activities as well. So it's becoming quite a major event. In fact, we're attracting school districts all over Orange County, beside the local school district here on Saddleback, and San Juan Capistrano and all those others. So just FYI. So that's all I have. So thank you.
Thank you. Jim, would you like to go next?
Okay. Carol, you can add some of the things to some of the things already said and whatever you feel so. Kind of recapping in chronological order, Snowfest was, again, really, really well done. One of the nice things is that the theme changes a little bit. It's not always the same acts, props, and my suggestion from having spent a lot of hours there that day, is for next year that we do away with the, what is that thing, the little whirly bird game. There were two like metal type,
Yeah, the carnival type rides.
carnival type
Yeah,
rides.
this is the last year for that.
Yeah, and because they were not used a
No.
lot. The big snow bounce house, slide house, whatever that was extremely popular. The little ones really, really like that. And Laura, you and I have talked about maybe a couple of other food vendors to get there. I think, and I have expressed this, and I'm not trying to make an enemy or say something. I have no problem with the Kiwanis Club being a food vendor there, but with what they're serving, I think we want to style our city events as quality. And the quality of what is being served has kind of gone down the last couple of years.
Oops,
And,
not good.
You know, I think, and there's other things that we don't have to compete with them, like have another hamburger restaurant, but there's others, and we can talk more about that. Last week was, and the Interest Week, for the first time I can remember, it was like literally a total Lake Forest week between one city council meeting, 3 park workshops, a senior dance, and a special needs dance on Saturday, and on Sunday, we rested. So
Yes, we did.
we admired where we'd been, and we rest. And I think, again, the programs are all good. I would like to maybe look at maybe suggesting, as we go down the future, a little bit of tweaking to what we do, and things maybe we could offer that would not be a horrendous expense. 'Cause I know budget does drive a lot of things, and I think in preparation for what will come, in a year and a half. Scott, I hope you're extremely successful in getting many, many mega dollars for what probably will be needed to run the operation. And because I think it'll dwarf what we have now. It'll make a dinner where this room is packed and people are having a great time look like, everybody went to Del Taco or something. No, I'm just being facetious in saying that. But I think we will have some opportunities to do some very, very marvelous things for the seniors in this city and to attract other seniors to come here as well. On the senior excursions that we do, and again, I look at numbers, and it's based on many years of previous background where numbers are important. There is, I think, a fixed cost for any excursion we take. If you're going to look at booking, I'm going to take arbitrary number, let's say 20, it's this size bus. If you're looking at 40 or above, it's this size bus. If you're looking at lunch for those people, it's this much expense. And while I think anything is better than none, I personally don't think it makes sense to continue any excursion where you have 7, 8, 10 people.
The smaller excursions where you have 7 to 10 people, it's the small bus.
Okay.
It's the 14-passenger seat bus that we consider a mini excursion.
Okay.
Those have a minimal amount of cost associated with them. If we were to have 7 to 10 people that were going, let's say, to Ronald Reagan Library, no, we would not do that.
Okay.
So the mini excursions are the ones we usually have 2 to 3, maybe 4 a month, and those are local within Orange County, and they use our Age Well Senior Services bus. So it's very minimal cost.
But I'd say even if it's local, it's just kind of, you almost go there on your own. to some extent.
Some can't. They can't. They don't have
No,
the
I
ability to
understand.
drive. So that's the reason why. Now, when we move, that may change. We
Yeah.
may change some of those things. But while we're here, we'll still continue to do those at some level. With 2 people, definitely not. If you have
Oh, yeah,
more
no,
staff,
makes
but
no sense.
yeah, 7, 8, or 9, we're getting close. We can't take more than 13 in the bus because we have to have one. You can only have
Size up.
14 people on the bus.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, right. So, again, just something to look at the numbers to justify getting the most out of what we can offer. And every now and then, it's almost time to say, no, we need to cancel this. If there's enough time for them to reserve, you're always going to lose 1 or 2, but if you're only starting, let's say, with 7 or 8, the chances are you lose them, you're down to 5 and 6, and it's like, okay, we'll try it another time. There's more of a desire to do that. Again, coming back to the parks workshops, having sat through several series of them over the years, I think this one was the absolute best, what RJM put out. With the diagrams they had, the data was extremely informative as to what was being, quote, proposed based on their analysis of the surveys of the residents from the first go-around, the the online comments and things like that, and laying out some plans right next to an actual picture of the park shot from up above, and then labeling where those amenities could go in per the basic thought pattern. And then, of course, they took comments, yes or no, things like that. But it was very, very easy to follow. And if people can come or would come back and say that they couldn't understand what was being done when we have them, I don't think that's very valid. Also along the line of exposure, I think the addition of the 2-person, let's call it social media and public information group that we now have, is extremely beneficial, and I would think especially beneficial to community services and what we do. And having spent some time with both Jonathan and Skylar, and kind of trying to get into their heads a little bit, it does seem that that is kind of their prime area of interest, that a lot of the other things that they put out, it's very brief, it's not a lot of detail on, but it's at least an exposure from the city to the population, which I think is good. And they're looking at trying, different things and different whatever. It's not really rigid. I would hope that when we do things like the park workshops and items like that get into the neighborhood, that we're somewhere along the line can bend the rule of within 500 feet of the park facility, which each neighborhood is different as far as size of lots and things like that. My neighborhood, the lots go from about 9,400 square feet to 15,000 square feet. So 500 feet from the park, you get 3 houses on the one side, and that's pretty much it. And I'm sure to some extent the same with others. But again, the door hangers were a good idea. Just if we could get more and maybe see, again, I think that's something for staff to look at, if we can get the Key Club, service groups, scouts, etc., to help pass these things out. I don't know what the liability is. We may assume in doing it, not sure, but they definitely can get community service credit for high school kids. And it's amazing that most high school kids, 2 weeks before they graduate, are scrambling to get their 8 hours still. They've had 4 years to do it, and they haven't gotten any community service. So that would be, as opposed to having to be staff, and again, it's a high cost to do that. the trade-off is that they would get their community service for doing it, and we could reach a lot more people that way. So it's maybe, you know, again, the future as we evolve, something to think about. But again, overall, well presented, and I'm looking forward to either March or April when they will come back to do that. Looking forward to the March activities. The dog show sounds like it will be extremely good. Bunny Blast always is a good activity and event. And I will throw a kind of a soft thank you to my Marine family for supporting both events over the weekend with 12 people each. And they had a great time. They did. And it was really funny at the special needs event to see, because with the exception of two, the other 10 had never been to one of these events before. And it's kind of a little bit of, you know, how do we act? What do we do? You know, senior dance, no problem. Get up there, dance, grab anybody who wants to dance, you know, on and on. But by the time we were about 35 to 40 minutes in the program, they were hauling those kids over to the special, to the photo booth and taking pictures with them and dancing with them and just having a good time. So I think they do help liven it up, and they want to keep coming back. So, and it's in a way good for them because they also, as do all the services, provide credit for service people who do volunteer, and it goes in their promotion jacket as a, how do you want to say it, a goodie plus for being considered for promotion. What have they done to represent the, in this case, the Marine Corps, outside of going and doing their day job? And I know a couple who have, because I've been told that were extremely active and earned a promotion because that was one of the things that they look for when they consider them for promotion. So it was very, very cool. And only the issue is they don't stay forever. They get moved around, and your family keeps growing. They're all over the world, so to speak. But it was good. It was good. Thank you to staff for everything, you know, again, you guys do and you keep doing. And I'm sure next month's report will be full of, as always, other stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, now it's my turn. First of all, staff, thank you for the amazing job that you guys always do. It's to see the smiles on everyone's faces of these events that I attend, and I know it's all due to all your hard work. So I just want to say I appreciate that. All right, so someone contacted me about our dog park. I guess the sheriff's been called out there a few times for some fights. Also, she was she said, we need better rules, even though I know we researched these rules very well, but she said the ones in Irvine she thought were better. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Okay. Well, she goes all over, don't get me wrong. And I know she's going to look forward to the shade structure, so let's just say that. When I was at one of our park meetings, neighborhood park meetings at the sports park, I ran into some girl skateboarders, and I said, hey, do you go to the Etnies skate park? And they both kind of looked at me and they said, I don't think we're good enough yet, which is kind of sad. You know, I'm like, sure you are. That's where you're going to learn to be better. And, you know, I was kind of like, rah, rah, go, go, girls. So, and one of them did say she wasn't sure she could afford it. But what is it, like $5? Oh, it's 15.
Free.
Wow, somehow that needs to get put back out there because they've missed that. But also, I mentioned this before, and I want to mention it again. I really would like for us to promote some more girls skating events or promote girls skateboarders, because these girls, I mean, you know, they wanted it, they had their equipment, they just needed a little confidence.
I know the last contest we had a girls only event, and there was
good.
quite a few girls that were in that
Okay.
event. So maybe we just need to do a better job of getting the information out.
I would appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think our, like those two gals, they were sweet as can be, but I just think that they needed a little more confidence, and I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
you guys will come up with something wonderful. I have confidence. CPRS is coming up next month, and I'm going Thursday and half-day Friday. So unfortunately, the Thursday banquet dinner, whatever you want to call it, is the same night as our meeting, so I'm going to have to miss next week. But it's still park related, so just wanted to let you guys know. My Florida park excursion last month was phenomenal. I was able to get to the Everglades, and it was a cold day, and so all the alligators were out because they had to sun themselves to get warm. So there's like a million of them out there. Anyway, I also made a special trip. I contacted the city of Miami before I left and made a special trip to go to City Hall and actually meet the Park and Rec people. And unfortunately, they were all at a meeting. I didn't time that well. We just didn't time that well. But it was still nice to meet two people. But when I asked for, do you have any brochures I can take back with me? And they're like, nope, everything's online. I did get their Zumba class schedule they had and a little Play Everywhere tour. And they actually have a health foundation of South Florida. I thought that was interesting. But anyway, and then I asked them, like I said, everything is online, so it's something we probably are going to be gearing towards. And so I said, well, how about, got any new projects? You doing any new playgrounds? And they all went, oh, that's next door in Capital Improvements Department. So I thought that was interesting.
It's a big city.
It is a big city, but still, I was kind of like, what? Okay. And then I said, well, where's your senior centers? We don't have any. They run it all through their rec programs at the parks. They don't have designated senior centers. And then I have a friend of mine said, well, that's because the whole city is a senior center. But anyway, I was just surprised to hear that they had no senior center. And I also went and I visited, they had recommended the Little Haiti Cultural Center, which was very interesting because it's little, but it was very interesting. Everybody was so pleasant to work with and talk to over there. I also went to, they had a farmer's market right there near Little Haiti. And one of the booths they had was the University of Florida extension in regards to their family nutrition program. And that might be a good thing for us to look into for our farmers market, because they had people there that represented the family program for food, and they handed out these little cutting boards, and of course they did a recipe. They had a veggie wrap recipe they did, and they gave me the little thing. So that was really nice. But I just thought that was a good thing. I hadn't thought about that, And then they also had a great gelato vendor, and a baker was there too. She was very good. And one of the other parks I visited was, it was called Soundscape Park, and it's right next to, I want to say maybe a musical auditorium, whatever, but they built the park with high-tech musical ability and visual effects. So I thought that was very interesting. And then I have to compliment their art in their parks was just phenomenal. It was amazing. So I wanted to kind of report on our Florida park excursions. Next, 4th of July parade meeting, and Laura might have to chime in. I was really impressed. There was a teacher from one of the Latin American countries, went online and found our parade logo contest, and she was working on a project with her class, and so she had her class do logos for our city. It was very cool. So I'm hope maybe at some point you can show it, or yeah. And yeah, that would be awesome, because we were all so impressed with the students. I think there were third graders that did this. Oh, very cute. Very cute. And I was talking to Laura, I said, it'd be nice, obviously we should write them a thank you note, but it'd be nice if we had a group picture so they knew who, yeah. So that was my thing on that. And then also, I attended Snowfest. I got there really early because I couldn't stay I had another thing to go to. I loved, is it Olaf? That big, oh my gosh, that was phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic. And I wondered, because I got there just as they were finishing blowing the snow, and I kind of went, you sure you got enough? And they're like, yeah, we blew it all. It just didn't seem like there was enough. I don't know. It might have been me. It may be the way it was laid out this time. I don't know. So,
Well, just to let you know, Sunday morning,
yeah, it was still there?
there was still snow there and people were going down the hill.
Oh, good
So,
for them.
No worries.
Okay, no worries, good. And I attended the senior dance, which was just so wonderful, and it's so nice because I used to volunteer almost every week, and I miss all my little buddies, so it was good I got to see them. So that was really, really nice. Special needs dance, oh my gosh, those kids had the biggest smiles on their faces the entire night. They probably went home with their cheeks hurting. I think you did too. I really, really did. Everything went wonderful. I got so many compliments from the parents and the caregivers. It was really nice. And of course, and a big thank you to Jim for supplying our Marines. They are such a big hit. They're like celebrities at both dances. They really, really are. And it's just so nice to have them there, and I love talking to them too. And I also attended all the neighborhood park improvement meetings. And as Jim, it was a very long week of every night. We were busy with the city every single night. So anyway, but it was interesting. And anyway, so that concludes what I have to say. I got through everything. Good for me.
Madam Chair, just
Yes.
one quick question.
Yes.
On the record for the dog park reopening or rededication or whatever.
Shade structure opening, yes.
Would you like to have a flyover by some,
A drone? Got a drone?
not a drone, a jet or some, dropping something out of it to make it a real event?
I'll keep that offer in mind.
Just to let you know, they usually take at least 60 days. So,
I'm not sure we're going to make it, Tim. Well, anyway, that concludes my comments, and I'm saying that concludes our meeting. So, do we need to
stand adjourned, so
we
moved.
stand adjourned?